Russia has bombed the European Union headquarter in Ukraine, and this was done overnight, breaking the 28th of August 2025. European Union headquarter came under serious attack after Russia rained down drone attack. In fact, Russia's largest attack on Ukraine on August the 27th, breaking today the 28th of 2025. Now, European Union is furious and they're angry after the attack, and Russia says the attack on the European Union building is legitimate. It's a legitimate strike carried out, and so therefore European Union need not to bother or need not to ask questions. The European Union is now furious and they are angry over Russia's attack, and they have called it a crime against humanity, that this was a target against civilian building and a target against an institution that seemingly is not Ukraine, is neutral, and that this could be defined as a declaration of war. Russia replied that they are ready. I want you to watch this video and understand the magnitude of what happened.
Our top focus in WION right now. Russia has struck in the heart of Ukraine. An overnight attack on Kyiv has killed at least 15 people and injured many others. A CCTV captured the moment of bombardment on Thursday night. Take a look at this visual. Rescue operations are ongoing in the Ukrainian capital. Emergency workers continue to search the rubble after Russia's massive attack. Nearby residents and eyewitnesses recount the horrific moment of the strike and the devastation after it.
The missile hit, and people were simply thrown by the impact. They were lying there. There was a woman, a wife, and their child. The woman was under a cement block. Her head was cut. It was split open. It was cut. She was under this block. We were not able to lift it. It was only lifted when the emergency services came. They used a lift. But she was not saved.
Ukraine's Air Force has said that it downed 563 of 598 drones and 26 of 31 Russian missiles. The military says 13 locations have been hit, with infrastructure at 26 different locations in rubble. Following the devastating strike, Kyiv's mayor has urged for more international pressure on Russia.
He only understands the power of force. We Ukrainians have to be strong. Our strength lies in our unity with our European partners and the United States, and together we can repel this invasion. This means modern weapons, tough sanctions, and pressure from the international community to end this horror.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has lashed out at his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, saying, and I quote, "Russia chooses ballistics instead of the negotiating table." In a lengthy social media post, Zelensky laid blame on Moscow, saying that dozens of opportunities for diplomacy had been ruined. World leaders have slammed Russia's latest barrage of attacks and strikes on Ukraine as the war continues to escalate despite push for peace negotiations at this point of time. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen has reacted strongly to the Russians' strike, accusing Russia of stopping at nothing in its war with Ukraine. EU Foreign Policy Chief has summoned Moscow's envoy in Brussels after the Russian strikes damaged EU's diplomatic mission in Kyiv as well. Early in the day, Ukrainian forces struck Russia's oil facility in Samara. Footage captured by an eyewitness shows plumes of smoke emerging from the refinery after the attack. Shortly after, Russia's defense ministry released a statement that Russian forces had shot down or intercepted 102 Ukrainian drones overnight in 7 regions. This includes Samara as well. The latest attacks come as diplomatic efforts to end the war have accelerated in recent weeks following meetings between US President Donald Trump and his Russian and Ukrainian counterparts separately, but there has been little tangible progress since then, with Moscow and Kyiv blaming each other for the impasse. And well, for more on this, we are now being joined by Oleksiy Melinek, who is the co-director of Foreign Relations and International Security Programs at the Razumkov Center in Kyiv. Welcome to WION. First up, you're joining us live from Kyiv. What is the on-ground situation there with the rescue operations still underway?
Well, I haven't been to the spots of the rescue operations, but what we see from the media, of course, it's a horrible tragedy with a lot of civilians killed, including children and women, and there's plenty of smoke over Kyiv. So that's a kind of normality that Ukraine lives on through 3.5 years.
Well, Mr. Melinek, Zelensky has clearly said that Russia chooses ballistics instead of the negotiating table. This also comes after a slew of peace talks happening between Trump and Putin, then Trump and Zelensky. How do you see the situation panning out? Because despite the number of peace talks, the attacks have not stopped on the battlefield.
You can see by your own eyes what are the Russians' approach to the peace negotiations. And, well, we can describe it like President Zelensky said, that Russia chooses ballistics instead of negotiating table. And I don't know how many arguments is more needed to persuade, first of all, Donald Trump that President Putin is not willing to make any concessions. He is not willing to make any peace agreement. If you want to persuade Russia, you have to offer something that Russia will have to accept. And I mean, something is the force, because this is the only language that Russia understands.
Mr. Melinek, you say that Russia has been, of course, attacking Kyiv every now and then, but the news just coming in is that Russia has said that it's pretty much interested in continuing the negotiation procedure and is perhaps keen on peace. How optimistic are you that there will be any kind of peace deal between Kyiv and Moscow at this point of time?
We have to understand what the Kremlin and Vladimir Putin mean by saying they are willing to negotiate, because actually their position of negotiating position is the demand for Ukraine to capitulate. This talks about exchanging territories is actually mafia offer to give up Ukrainian territories that Russia is not able to occupy militarily. And any concessions from Russia are actually do not cost anything for Russia. What they negotiate, they willing to negotiate, is the Ukrainian territories, Ukrainian independence, Ukrainian sovereignty. That's not an approach, and not like cooperative approach to start negotiations.
Since 1993, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea, its 3 higher schools, ESG, ISTA, ISA, 4 ultra-modern campuses with diversified training offer in order to obtain certificates like BTS, HND, academic degree, Bachelor in Technology, Professional Bachelor's degree, Professional Master's, Executive MBA, several national and international partners, and the best is yet to come. The University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea.
We train leaders since 1993.